In this clip, I want to show you how to use the great extension called Flubaroo. What Flubaroo does is it gives the user the ability to create self-marking quizzes in Google Forms. So this is assuming that you know how to use Google Forms, and I've created a Google Form quiz here that I'm about to send out, and this is what I want to turn into a self-marking quiz that sends the results straight back to the participants. So I've done this. This is called New Zealand General Knowledge Quiz. I've asked for the name of the participant here and their email, and I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4 quick questions. So from here, I want to push this responses button, and that's where the answers will come through. As yet, nobody's done it, and I haven't sent it out for anyone to do just yet. That step comes later. So I'm going to push this button here, which is create a spreadsheet. And I want to create a new spreadsheet. So I'm going to create. You can see here along the top of my spreadsheet, they're the questions that I asked in my form. So the data gets filled out within here as soon as a participant fills out my quiz. So this is also the form we add Flubaroo. So how you do that is you go onto this add-ons button, and if you haven't got it already, you go to get add-ons, and you have to search it here. So it's Flubaroo, and it's this one here, Flubaroo. So I'm going to add it, and just give it the permissions, allow that. And it tells you about it here. So once you've collected your submissions, then you can run the extension Flubaroo. So Flubaroo comes up on the side here. So that's extra stuff you can read if you want to know more about it. So the very first step of using Flubaroo is that I have to go in and complete the quiz myself and make sure that all the answers are correct, because the extension Flubaroo is going to mark the answers from the participants against the correct answers. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill out my own form, and it'll fill in the answers along this line. So if I go back to my quiz, and if I go to the questions, and if I send it, I might just grab the link here, copy that, and I'm going to open up another tab and paste that link into the URL box. So here it is. Since I am the one who is doing the correct answers, I might just put my name as answer key, fill out my own email address. And then I go through and I can choose the right answers. One hint when using Flubaroo is it is a lot easier just to create multi-choice questions, because then you don't have to worry about the spelling or anything like that if you had chosen to allow the participant to do short answers. So I'm going to make sure I get the correct answers right here. And once that's submitted, then I can go back and you can see in my responses sheet that it's filled out. So that's going to be all my answers, the answer key, which Flubaroo will ask me when I open the extension what I want to mark the remaining answers against. So now I've sent out my quiz to a few people and I've had 3 replies, so I can see that's automatically come through here in my Google Sheet under my answer key here. So at this stage I'm able to run the extension Flubaroo. So I'm going to go up to add-ons, now Flubaroo's in there, and I'm going to push grade assignment. And it takes you through step by step the different stages of setting up the form. So here it is, identifies student there. We can skip grading there, so it's not going to award that. It automatically picks up what we want. We could change the amount of points there, but we're going to leave it as 1 each. So I'm happy with that. To push continue. And this is where it's going to ask for my answer key. So the ones that I got right when I did it at the start, that's the one there where I named it answer key. So that's the one I'm going to choose for Flubaroo to mark against. And just like that, it grades my assignment for me. So it creates this spreadsheet here. So that was where the submissions were. It creates another tab called grades, and it calculates the total amount of points, the percent, time submitted. At the moment, it hasn't emailed the grades. You can set up the ability to email those grades, and it's given me a rundown of each question and how the whole group went answering those questions. If it's a problematic area, like this question here, it also highlights to say only 33% of people got that question right, so it might be something that I need to teach better. Up here, when I go here, I can push share grades. And this is how I can email my students. So it says email address question. So that's where I need to choose email because it's going to match up with that part. Include a list of questions and scores. Yes. Include an answer key. I'll do that as well. And a quick message here. Here is when I push continue. All the participants will get an email and it will have the answer key and it will have that message there so they can check where they went wrong. So that's successfully graded there. So this window here shows you what it looks like when the participant receives their grades back via email. So you can see here that I've received my grade. I got 2 out of 4, 50%. There's a little message that the person who wrote the quiz wrote to me. And then I see down here, if I've got an answer incorrect, it comes up in red and it also tells me the correct answer. So those 2 examples were incorrect. When it's correct, then it comes up there in green. Once you've got the hang of grading assignments like that, a really useful tool within Flubaroo is to choose this option where you go down Flubaroo down to advanced and to enable auto grade. That means that you don't have to push send grades every time. It just means that the program will mark it and send out those grades as soon as someone has completed the quiz. So if I push enable auto grade, and it's going to ask me to update my grading and email settings. So I'm going to push yes. So go through this process again. And so it says here, auto grade is enabled. So as soon as there's any new submissions, it'll get sent straight to them. So that really is a self-marking quiz once you enable the auto grade.